Hey, Sam.
Hey, how you doing, Alan?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. Sorry
Good.
about this morning.
Yeah, no, good to catch up with you. You're one of those people. You know how on Facebook, because I've got so many people doing various things, and every now and then you get to see a live. Someone is
Yeah.
doing a live, and I get to listen to those. And every time yours pops up, and I get to listen to you, I was like, wow, this person has got so much to talk about
Oh,
life
thank you.
coaching, which is really, really good. So I thought it would be good to catch up with you, give us some of your inspiration, for our listeners about life and everything else. And you're just so genuine as well. You've got this personal brand on you, which just
Yeah,
fits, with
that's
yourself.
really good. That's what I'm all about. That's
Yeah,
my podcast. That's my brand. Yeah,
absolutely.
about real life and taking responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought, last time I listened to your live, where you talked about the gap, the gap between, what we portray to the world and who we really are, and how that can lead into, ourselves not being happy and so on, how we can close the gap. But first of all, I wanted to see if you can just give us a little bit about yourself, like your background, who you are, so our listeners can actually get a bit of a feel about you as well before we
Sure.
get into the detail of being yourself. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate being asked.
Yeah.
So I'm Sam Adams. I'm based down in Brighton, and I've been in business for about over 20 years. I've got a property business. And yeah, I started off renovating properties and things like that, and then I went into different strategies and buy-to-lets and all sorts. And I now sort of strip that back and have just a buy-to-let portfolio and a couple of properties in Spain. And I started coaching and talking really when I was in property. I got asked to speak at various property networking events and things like that. And then I got into mentoring some people that wanted to get into buy-to-lets and lease option strategies. And I think that was kind of like, I knew that I liked helping people, but that kind of really cemented it for me. But I always really liked the personal development aspect of it more than actually teaching them the property strategy.
Yeah.
I just how it turned out, and of course, and I worked out from my own personal development, which is I've been studying personal development for again over 20 years since I was sort of quite interested in having my own business. That everything starts with you, and that sort of came out of the property mentoring, and sort of started to switch over to more personal growth mentorship, I suppose, helping people, anybody in business or sports people that want to perform better, show up better, and get, make the best of life. Help them, So it's much more general now, and I really love it. I really love it. I love talking about personal development. I love coaching and doing group stuff. I'm just creating a group coaching program for next year, because there's only one of me and there's only so much one-to-one coaching I can do, and and someone's on the waiting list, and I just thought, well, how can I help more people? So I think I'm just trying to develop a group coaching program that will probably start in the spring. So now I predominantly just have my property business, which doesn't take up much amount of my time, 20%, maybe less. Coaching and speaking.
So it does look like for you sort of found your sort of passion, the area that is almost like highest to your values, and that's what you're pursuing. But you'll find some people, they probably are in a bit of either overwhelm, or that they don't really know what it is that they can actually do, or what you call like the purpose of life for everyone, which essentially everyone has. So, I mean, for you, do you think you stumbled on it by accident? Because when you are doing the property business, obviously, financially or otherwise, you're probably all set. Most people will just be happy with that and carry on and just pursue that. But for you, was it something specific in you? Is it something that people are born with? Is this maybe the nurture versus nurture question, or how did you stumble upon, like, this is what do you really like, or what do you enjoy, other than just pursuing business, for example?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of I like to be in control. So I like to tell what to do. I want to know what I want to decide when I have my holidays and things like that. So that was the first step. It's like, well, I need to work for myself if I want to dictate a little bit more and have a bit more freedom. Because for me, the highest forms of success are showing up as yourself in the world, and having that freedom to do my week my way. And I have that. And I think for me, that's the highest form of success, really. So I started to look for businesses that I could do. I did a network marketing business. That was one of the first businesses I did. And then I did up a house that I bought with my previous partner. And I really enjoyed it. And I'd always gone and helped my dad sort of do things when I was a kid. And I liked watching something really shoddy turn into something really nice. And I think it just came from that. I did up this house, and I did it so well that it sold above market value. And I thought, whoa, well, this is all right. Maybe I'll do another one of these. And so that kind of started my property journey, really. And I really loved it. But I worked really, really hard at it. I worked a lot of long hours. When you've got a project on, it's all about time, really, in property. If you're fixing or you're renovating, time, every day counts. So it was a lot of hard, long days went into it. And I guess as I got older, my kids got older, I just was like, I started to enjoy it less, I guess. I think, because to begin with, I was a lot younger, so I was doing everything. I could do so much. I even learnt to plaster. So I loved it. But then we had a family tragedy, and my sister's partner died, and she was left with a young baby and really nowhere to live. She was living with us, but she really needed somewhere on her own. So that motivated me to get into buy-to-let, to build a buy-to-let portfolio. So I'd been doing property for about 6 or 7 years by that point. And that was, so then I was then doing buy-to-lets and sort of renovating a little bit alongside each other. And so that was really a big change, really, for me. And then, like I said, because I was in property and I was around property people, a couple of friends had networking events and things like that, and they wanted me to speak, and that's where I realised that I liked speaking and I liked helping. And then it just then I realised that it just grew into the passion to actually helping people develop themselves, because it doesn't matter what business you do. At the end of the day, business is personal, because everything comes from you, how you show up for your partner, your business, your job, your kids, whatever. It all stems from you ultimately. So that's where the work is, really. And I just fell in love with helping people and speaking, and I absolutely love it. So I kind of working on myself. I've learned, I share, and when you learn, you teach, they say, and that's what I do.
and that's the best way of learning, isn't to teach? You teach and you talk to people. So that's brilliant. So that takes us nicely into the everything starting with you. So just tell us a bit more about that, because in some cases people will understand that, but then because of the environment they are going through, they may believe maybe there are people that they respect or people that they see and people that they admire. They are sort of looking to copy them or do something that they are similar. And whilst they are doing that, they forget themselves and they lose the you. So if you bring us back into how and where does things start with you?
I think the thing that starts with you kind of evolved from obviously the coaching and certain things that happened in my life. And I think it's very, very easy to blame other people.
Yeah.
The government, like you see it right now going on in the country and around the world. It's very easy, to be honest, that's a whole different thing. But, it is very easy to blame other people for your situation and your reactions and your behaviors. But the one and only thing that we have control over is ourselves.
Yeah.
And through some things that happened to me, in my personal life, and I wanted to blame and complain at other people. But what I realized was that actually was giving control and the power over to them.
Yeah.
I was being, so if they reacted in a certain way, then I reacted in a certain way, and that pushed and shoved me around, and I wasn't in control. And as things have progressed on, I realized that actually if I just took responsibility for me, because I can't control what anyone else does. Can't control the government or anything like that. I can't control anyone. The only person I can control, and the only person I'm with 100% is myself. So I can work on controlling my thoughts, my feelings, and my reactions and my behaviors, so that I put myself in the driving seat. Because otherwise, you're a passenger. You're a passenger to life if you just are gonna, respond and react to everything that everybody else does around you, and whilst you're continuing to blame and complain, you are effectively a prisoner to that still, and you're being driven around like a racing track all over the place, because you're allowing them to have the power and have the control. And it's not an easy concept for some people to take on board. I had, I think earlier this year, I had a client, and she wasn't keen to do it. It's like, well, it is their fault. And I'm like, yeah, but is it? Is it their fault? Is it your perspective or your reaction to it? And when we got about a few months down the line, she did say to me, you know what, when you kept pushing me about this take responsibility business, and it starts with you, I was beginning to really not like you. But I paid you, so I basically had to stick with it. And now I get it, and it's so much better, because if you can work, and it's all about doing the deep work on yourself. At the end of the day, that's how you get there. That's how you learn to take responsibility. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. Even sometimes I have a little bit of a moan, but I'm a lot quicker to pull my neck in and have a word with myself. Well, that's the thing. It's like, well, if something happens, you might kick off and you might, blame and complain or whatever, but it's having that ability to have self-awareness to know, hang on a minute, challenge yourself mentally, internally, and think, actually, what am I in control of here? I can control how I respond to this. No amount of anger or aggression or whatever is going to change how they behave, because they are going to behave how they're going to behave. But you yourself, that you're only in control of yourself. So like I said, with this woman, she eventually did get there. That it was life changing, and I think that it is. 1 second, Alexa, stop. It's life changing. You can get there.
And would you say some people will get there faster, others slow, and others may not even get it at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it took me a long time to get there. I didn't even really know it was a thing. I was like, I think especially when we're younger and we're trying to fit in with, we're trying to, identify what's our identity, who are we? We kind of merge and gel with our peers, and we want to be liked, and we want to fit in. So I think it's a lot harder when we're younger. But as you get older, I think you care less about those things, and more about having a fulfilled life and feeling, emotionally in control of yourself, and that you are basically the captain of your own ship. I think some of it does come with age, but having said that, not everyone gets it. It's your willingness to, if you want life to change, if you don't have the people and the things, the job, maybe the business and the things around you that you want, then there's no point going to look for other things.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably get more of the same. You have to turn back and look on yourself and do the work on yourself and think, how am I showing? And this is where the gap comes in. How am I showing up in the world? That gap between who you show the world you are and who you are. Because if we all do it. Like I said, when you're a young kid, we do it even more, and you want to fit in, you want to be liked. Our identity changes all the time.
Yeah.
And when you show the world something different to the reality, things come into your life and into your reality that you start to question, and then you don't feel fulfilled and happy. And the reason is that is because you're not being real. You're not being the real you. And so therefore you're not going to attract the right things into your life, because you're showing the world something that isn't you.
Yeah. Which is a bit of a shame in a way, because I look at it like, if someone, especially like the younger generation, if they could only pick it up at that early age, there would be just so much potential in terms of what they can achieve growing up, because they've got so many years. Whereby, I guess, when you discover and you get there when you're much older, obviously you're wise and you can probably make the best of it. But is it also the fact that people will actually get it or get there through either mistakes or experiences, or actually experience things? Because you can get to teach people a theory to a certain level, but they probably won't take it or grasp it until actually something has happened to them, either a shock of some sort. Then maybe the light bulb moment comes.
I think for me that was, I think there's been a couple of light bulb moments about taking responsibility and creating the life that I want, and that I'm the only one that can really do that. I think trauma or some life-changing event can definitely have an impact. But I also think, like I said before, I think age, as you get when we get like mid-30s, nudging 40, our identity and our personality is pretty much, it's set. And we pretty much know when we get involved in anything, because we've experienced love and loss and breakups and work and what that feels like. We know what's coming, like, we get involved in, we pretty much know what's coming by that point in our life. And then we start to sort of question who we truly are, because less and less things from the outside world, the things that kind of like when you're younger that you bring into your life from the outside world to make you feel better, they start to they make you feel good, and you forget those deeper feelings. But as you get older and you know what's coming, those things have less and less impact. So then you start to question, what's all this about? Who am I? What's my place in the world? What's my purpose? So I do think it can come with age, but I also think it can come with life-changing events as well.
Events, and